If you rent here in Orlando and somewhere in the back of your mind you've quietly decided that buying a home is for other people, it's not for you, I need you to hear something. Florida just put $50 million back on the table to help first-time buyers get into their first home. And some of that money could be yours, up to $35,000 towards buying your first place right here in Orlando. But there is a catch, and I'm going to be upfront with you about this. It's first come, first served. When the money's gone, it's gone. So this is one of those rare times where knowing about something early really matters. Hi, I'm Chad Gibson with the Dreamtown Homes Team here in Orlando, Florida. I've lived here about 16 years, and before real estate, I spent years teaching. So honestly, breaking complicated stuff down into plain English is still just how my brain works. And I want to be clear about my job in this video. I am not a lender, and I'm not here to talk you into anything. I'm here to help you understand whether this program is a real door for you, and if it is, how to actually walk through it before it closes. So let me tell you exactly what this is, who it's for, the honest catch nobody puts in the headlines, and the one thing you need to do this week if you think it might be for you. Let's start with what this actually is. The program is called Florida Hometown Heroes. The state reopened it this month with $50 million in fresh funding. Here's the heart of it. If you qualify, you can get 5% of your loan amount, up to $35,000, toward your down payment and your closing costs. And there's a floor too. Even on a smaller loan, the minimum help is $10,000. So we're talking somewhere between $10,000 and $35,000 of assistance to get you into your first home. Now, for a lot of people watching this, the down payment and the closing costs are really the entire wall. It's not that you can't handle a monthly payment. You're paying rent right now, and rent isn't cheap. It's that saving up that big pile of cash all at once that just feels impossible. And this program is aimed right at that wall. Okay, here's the part I refuse to skip because you're going to hear other people completely leave it out. This is a loan. It is not a grant, and it's not free money. So let me explain what that actually means, because it's really not as scary as it sounds. The assistance comes as a second mortgage on your home, but it's 0% interest mortgage with no monthly payment at all. So you heard that right. You don't pay a dime on it every month. It just sits quietly behind your main mortgage. What you do is you pay it back later when you sell the home in the future, or if you refinance in the future, or if you pay off your first mortgage early, or if you move out and it's no longer your primary home. That's it. So think of it less like a gift and more like a really patient partner who fronts you the cash to get you in the door and asks for nothing every single month and only settles up down the road when you've got the home sold or refinanced. Isn't that a great deal? I think it is. For the right person, it's a fantastic deal. But you deserve to know exactly what you're signing, and now you do. So who qualifies for this? This is where most people talk themselves out of it too early, so please stay with me. The first thing surprises everybody. It's not really about your job title, it's about who you work for. The program is built around Florida-based employers in certain categories, so you have to work for one of these industries. Healthcare, K-12 schools, fire and EMS, law enforcement, childcare, the courts, and the military. And here's the key. If you work full-time for an employer like that, you can qualify, no matter what your actual role is. I'll say that again because it matters. A cafeteria worker at a hospital counts. An office assistant at a school counts. It's the employer that opens the door, not the title on your badge. So don't count yourself out because you don't feel like a hero. If you work full-time for one of these kinds of employers, please keep listening. Second, you generally need to be a first-time buyer, which in this world just means you haven't owned a home that you've lived in for the last 3 years. And if you're a veteran or active military, that first-time rule usually doesn't even apply to you. Third, there's an income limit. It's set at 150% of the area median income, and it changes by counties. So Orange, Seminole, Osceola, Lake, they each have their own numbers. Here's the thing though, that limit is higher than most people assume. A lot of folks who figure they make too much money actually fit under it just fine. We'd just look it up for you for your county. Fourth, you'll need a credit score of around 640 or better, and you'll take a short home buyer education class before you close. It's just a few hours. You can do it online, and honestly, it's a good class. You'll walk away understanding your own purchase much better. Now, let me make this real because numbers in the abstract don't always land. Say you're looking at a starter home or a townhome here in the Orlando area. Let's call it somewhere in the mid 300s, which is realistic first home in a lot of our neighborhoods. 5% of your loan on a purchase like that lands you right around the top of the assistance. So real money again toward your down payment and closing costs that usually blindside first time buyers. That could be the difference between maybe someday I can own a house to maybe I can own it this year. Same house. The only thing that changed is whether you knew this money existed and moved in time to grab it. And that word time brings me to the catch. $50 million sounds like a pretty big ocean. It isn't. The state expects this round of financing to last somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 months, and it's first come, first served through participating lenders. So this isn't a get around to it next year thing. If this is you, the window is open right now, and it will close, probably quietly in the middle of a Tuesday when the funding just runs out. So what do you actually do? Here's the honest, unglamorous answer, and it's the single most important thing I'm going to mention in this video. You get pre-approved with a lender who's approved to do this program. That's it. That's the move. Not start casually looking at Zillow, not wait until you save more money. You have to act now. You need to talk to a participating lender. They check your county's income limit and your numbers, and they help you actually reserve the funds. That reservation is what holds your spot in line. I work with lenders who do this program all the time, and if you want, I can connect you with one. No cost, no obligation. It's just a real conversation about whether this program fits. Now, I want to hit on some of the mistakes I see because avoiding these is half of the battle. Mistake number one is assuming you make too much. You probably don't. Check the actual number for your county first, and I can help you do that. Mistake two, assuming you don't count. Remember, it's the employer, not the title, that qualifies you. Check before you count yourself out. Mistake three is simply waiting. This is the expensive one. Unfortunately, this is first come, first served, which means the reward goes to the people who took action, not the people who waited for a perfect moment. There is no perfect moment, there's just this window. And mistake four, the one closest to my heart, deciding the whole dream is impossible without ever letting somebody run your actual numbers. I made my own version of that mistake once. I had a client almost make that same mistake, buying at the very top of what I was approved for and getting caught off guard by costs I hadn't planned for. Nobody walked me through that part, so let me be that person for you. Let's just look. Looking is free, and it could change everything. For years, you may have watched other people buy homes and figured that game wasn't for you. This is the state of Florida, quite literally handing first-time buyers a leg up to get into the door, up to $35,000 of it, and most of the people it's meant for will never even hear about it in time. Don't be one of them. I made you a simple one-page cheat sheet that lays out exactly who qualifies, the income limits, and the 4 steps to lock your spot before the money runs out. Go ahead and grab it. The link is right at the top of the description. And if you want to just talk it through with somebody who will give it to you clear, book a free 30-minute call with me. We'll look up your county's number, figure out if this fits, and if it does, get you connected to a lender who can hold your place in line. You might be a whole lot closer to your first home than you think. So let's go find out. Thank you so much for watching. Go get it. Take care.